welcome to another edition of Cavs Daily presented by Fan Art. I'm your host, Paul Williams, and you have found your one stop shop for everything Cavaliers related. Got another banger for you guys today. This one is going to be a little different, and it's going to be something I'm doing up until the season starts. Once a week, I'll do an episode with player profiles just to help us all get acquainted with the players going into the 25-26 season. Yes, we all mostly know the main guys, and we will go through them as well. But I kind of want to encompass the entire roster, as you never know when a guy's going to come in handy or break out or just have an impact when you need them the most. So every guy on the roster matters. And we're going to dedicate an episode weekly on learning more about each player. Sometimes it'll be two players in that episode. Sometimes it might just be one. The first player that we're doing, the honor goes to Sam Merrill, the 29-year-old sharpshooter out of Utah State. Merrill was born and raised in Utah. Was a standout high school player there. And then right after high school, he actually took a 2-year sabbatical where he went on a church mission. So his age 19 and 20 years, he wasn't really even playing basketball. He was on a mission with his church. And that obviously led to a late start to his college career, and hence him already being 29 now, only going into his sixth season so far in the NBA. He played 4 years at Utah State, where he was a standout player. He was all conference for a couple years, and then he was the Mountain West Player of the Year. His senior year, Miro ended up going undrafted he was the final draft pick of the 2020 NBA draft. He went in the second round with the last pick 60 overall. He was chosen by New Orleans, who then traded him to the Bucks, where he, in his rookie year, was a champion as the Bucks won the 2021 NBA Finals. Merrill didn't have a big role on that team, but he did get minutes in the playoffs, and he does have a ring to show for it. And at the very least, if you're on a team that makes a run like that, you do gain valuable experience. So Merrill does have that in his arsenal, which I think has helped him with his persistence, starting with being the last draft pick in the entire draft. Usually those guys don't have very long NBA careers. It does happen, like the Isaiah Thomas of Sacramento and Boston fame, not the Detroit Pistons Isaiah Thomas. But usually when you're the 60th overall pick, an NBA career is slim. But yeah, Merrill was able to find a way to make the Bucks roster. And then from there, he actually was part of a trade with the Memphis Grizzlies for Grayson Allen. So Merrill went to the Grizzlies for a season before ending up on the 22-23 Cleveland Charge team, where he played that entire season. In the year 2023 is when he first got his real shot with the Cavs, and after a 10-day contract and him playing well on that 10-day contract, he was able to secure a long-term contract with the Cavs, which coincided with this past season wrapping up and Merrill getting a new 4-year, $32 million contract. So going from a final pick in the draft, being traded around for peanuts, playing in the G League substantial amount of time, Merrill was able to slowly carve out a role with the Cavs, which led to him now being a real piece and someone that really is an important cog in the Cavs system and what they're looking to do, and that's backed up by the contract the Cavs gave them. Merrill is known for his shooting, as he shot 40% in the 23-24 season on nearly 6 attempts a game. He was down to 37% this year on just over 5 attempts a game. But still, when you're putting up that type of volume, shooting between 37 and 41%, that'll keep a job in the NBA, especially when you're 6'4" and you're willing to guard, you're willing to play whatever role is put in front of you. Yeah, that's going to get you some type of time on an NBA team. Merrill, a few highlights of his career. He hit a career high 27 points off of 8 3-pointers made in the 23-24 season against Utah. Just a month later, he had 26 points against the Magic, including 20 points in the first half. Merrill also broke the franchise record for 3-pointers off of the bench in the 23-24 season when he knocked down 143 3-pointers. So that's just a little bit about Sam Merrill. He averaged 7 points last year. His career high average is 8 points per game. And he's just went from kind of an unknown guy who at best was going to be a G League veteran to a real NBA rotation player that gets spot starts at times and plays real minutes in the playoffs. And I mean, that's an impressive rise for someone that didn't look like they had a real shot in the NBA. So Sam Merrill is going to be with the Cavs for at least the next 4 years. Hopefully that got all the viewers and just the general public a little more info on Sam and who he is. And now, as far as what to expect from Merrill this season and going forward, with him being 29 years old going into the season, his sixth season in the NBA, and his third season as a real rotational player, I feel like Sam's going to have a career year this year. I mean, playing with Ty Jerome off the bench last year put him in some tough positions because Ty doesn't really create offense for others. He's more about offense and scoring for himself. So that does not suit someone like Sam Merrill, who is more of a spot-up shooter. He's in the offense, not going to have many plays ran for him. So I just feel like he would thrive a lot more with someone that's a pass-first shooting guard. And, I mean, luckily for the Cavs, it just so happens that we traded for one of the most unselfish and pass-first players in the league, period, in Lonzo Ball. If Ball can stay healthy, I think that plays huge dividends for Sam Merrill in particular, as being on a team and playing serious minutes with someone like Lonzo Ball compared to maybe a Ty Jerome. That's going to make a big difference, and that's going to result in a lot more, I think, a lot more open looks, cleaner looks for Sam Merrill, as the defenses really started to key in on him last season. I think having Lonzo Ball on the team and running that second unit will be huge for Sam, and I think it's going to result in him having a true career year where he averages more than his 8 points from the 23-24 season. I have Sam averaging closer to 10. I have his three-point percentage getting back up around 40. And yeah, I just think by this time next year, Sam Merrill will be a bona fide staple of the Cavs bench, hopefully a championship bench. But yeah, I think Sam Merrill is a perfect fit for what we have here on this Cleveland Cavalier roster, even better than years past. So I look for Sam to really have a career year this year, and show everyone why he was able to persevere from a basically unknown guy to a player receiving a 4-year contract from one of the top championship level teams in the NBA. That says a lot about Sam Merrill, and I'm excited to see his growth this year. Another player that's kind of in a similar vein to Sam Merrill as a bench piece that could theoretically take a step this season is Dean Wade. Don't know how familiar you are with D Wade, but it's not the one from Miami. It's not the one from the big 3 days with LeBron. This Dean Wade is 28. He will also be 29 this upcoming season as he turns 29 in November. He's played 6 years so far, going into his seventh year. He's a 6'9" combo forward out of Kansas State, where he played 4 years and was 2 times All Big 12 performer. He also grew up in Kansas, and he went undrafted in the 2019 draft. Did not get many looks outside of a few summer league offers, and he really had to grind his way onto an NBA roster, which he did with the Cavs after playing a few seasons with the Canton Charge. Dean Wade did slowly carve out a role and a niche on the Cavaliers teams of the past 3 or 4 years. Unfortunately for D. Wade, his health has been a major concern his entire career thus far. He's only played in 60 games or more once, and that was 63 games in the 2021 season when he was barely getting any minutes. His injuries actually started all the way back in college, as he missed some time his senior year due to a foot injury, and it seems like every time he starts to get on track, an injury takes him out for a few weeks or for a month, and he's starting all over again. D. Wade has shown signs of not only being a defensive stalwart, because he can truly guard 1 through 5. He's 6'9", with a good wingspan and the lateral quickness to stay in front of guards. He does have the size and length to guard either forward position, and in a pinch, he can guard the center and play the 5 when you're playing super small ball. He's also showed some scoring chops in bunches, and to me, the highlight of Dean Wade in Cleveland came a couple seasons ago in the 23-24 season. On March 5th against the Boston Celtics. The Cavs were hosting the Celtics, and it just wasn't looking good for most of the game. They were down 22 points in the second half, and then came D. Wade. Dean Wade had 20 of his 22 points in the fourth quarter. The guy dropped 20 in one quarter against the defending champion Boston Celtics. And yeah, it was just impressive to see the way, he just was shooting with confidence. After a couple of them went in, it got to the point where it just seemed like he couldn't and wouldn't miss. And that's just something that's always going to stick out for me and probably a lot of other Cavs fans as just the Dean Wade experience in full throttle. He also had a game in 2022 where he made 6 3-pointers and combined with Donovan Mitchell and Kevin Love to set an all-time record for 3-pointers made between 3 teammates in one game. They combined to make 22 3-pointers. And D. Wade is still part of the history books because of that. As far as what to expect possibly from D. Wade this year, or what type of impact he may have on the Cavs, I think that all hinges on health. Dean Wade is the type of guy where he's never going to put up big offensive numbers. That's not what he's here for. But if he can just stay healthy and give the Cavs 20 minutes a game, he can be a huge difference maker, especially with now someone like Larry Nance on the roster. Just gives the Cavs so much more flexibility between that 4 and 5 position, and even dropping down to the 3 for Dean Wade if needed. So I am looking at a bounce back year for D. Wade. I got him setting a career high in games, playing at least 63 games this year, as I think Larry Nance will also take a bit of the load off Dean Wade, which should hopefully help with the injury trouble, maybe playing a few less minutes, having a few less or a little less wear and tear on you from having to guard up and guard center so much could help him. So I'm looking for D. Wade to bounce back, have a relatively healthy year, and I'm looking at him to shoot 40% from 3 this year. He can knock down a 3-pointer, and again with the Lonzo Ball factor being a part of that second unit, Dean Wade is going to get open looks, and he can knock them down when he's shooting with confidence. And I think this is the year where he really puts it all together, uh, plays 70 plus games, shoots 40% from the three, and finally shows Cavs and the Cavs fans why the team and the front office and the coaches have loved Dean Wade and stuck by him for so long. So look for both Dean Wade and Sam Merrill to have major impacts off the bench this year. I hope you got to know him a little better after this 15-minute kind of overview of the guys. And yeah, I look forward to sharing information on every other Cavs player as we go forward. Until then, I appreciate you guys tuning in, watching through to the final moments, and I will see you on Cavs Daily tomorrow. Have a wonderful day.